Well, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Bob Stauf, the Germanic nomenclature, the Irish proclivity, with my friend Kevin Ellis, and I'm about to introduce him. But I first want to introduce the Emerald Focus television show, which is brought to you in Yonkers, Harrison, and Portchester. We are here with Kevin. Kevin, whose Irish heritage traces to his grandparents who emigrated from Ireland, and I'm going to ask him what counties. He is actually the vice president of the county, AOH, and he is my president. And of course, I bow down, genuflect, and kiss the ring occasionally, because he is the president of the Miles Scully Division in Yonkers of the Ancient Order of Hibernians. I think I was a member of the Hibernians in Miles Scully before you. And
yes, probably,
And then I took a hiatus. That's because I'm a few years older than you are. And he is here, proudly.
That's it, I am here. You finally got me here.
Showing the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade Award that he's received. And maybe you could tell us about this first place award that you received.
Yes, well, first off, Bob, thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you, my brother.
It's great to finally be here on Emerald Focus, and I look forward to speaking to you today.
Beautiful.
Yeah, in fact, this is just the most recent thing that has happened. In fact, the membership of our division has not even been notified of this yet.
Wow.
So this is actually the first we're hearing of this.
Now, this is real breaking news. It's not
real
fake
breaking
news, is it?
I guess.
It's
No,
not
it's not fake news. It's real breaking news here.
Excellent, good.
Excuse me.
Excuse.
Our division has been marching in the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade for, I would say, all 126 years of its existence. And we have been honored in past years for our presence on the parade and winning marching awards. And this year was very special because for the very first time, Division 1 Yonkers has been cited by the New York City Parade Committee as being the best Ancient Order of Hibernians marching unit in the parade this year, which is a very big deal. When you figure the Ancient Order of Hibernians and the Ladies' Ancient Order of Hibernians represent over 75 distinct marching units.
Right.
To win first place on that and to be recognized by the Parade Committee is something very special, and it's something that we take a lot of pride in. And I could not be happier for our members. They look so great in the Avenue, and we plan on sharing this award at our next meeting.
That's beautiful. You know, pride cometh before the fall, so I hope that's
right. Well, we subscribe to the
And this
vision.
is fall. There you are.
Exactly. Well, I'm a firm believer that on St. Patrick's Day, especially in the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade, which is broadcast to the world, it is the responsibility of the marchers, it's the responsibility of the marching units to look their best, to show the world the very best of what Irish America is. And when I became president, we kind of changed things up again. I started requiring our marchers to, if they're marching in the New York City Parade, to wear their Sunday best, make sure they wear suits and shoes and ties, and I want to make sure everyone looks great. And the membership really bought into that, fortunately.
Exactly right, they did.
And past few years, we have gotten a lot of compliments on the way that we've looked. I'm very proud at the way that our division has represented not only the county of Westchester, but the city of Yonkers itself as well.
Well, I have to tell you, and I don't just flatter just to say it. It's because of your charismatic leadership that much has happened with the Miles Scully Division, and I've always said that to people.
Well, I appreciate that very much.
Truth. And by the way, if he sounds terribly professional, I'm only a paraprofessional in terms of being on radio and television. He began his career in broadcasting as an on-air announcer. So if you're making comparisons about, at least this guy knows what he's doing when he's when he's before the communications, and this other character is interviewing him. That's why. He started his career in broadcasting as an on-air announcement and assistant broadcast engineer at WFAS AM FM. And you've done some support technician for ABC TV and ABC Radio Networks.
Yes, my career has kind of been always centered around the communications world somewhat. Coming out of college, I thought I was going to have a career in radio.
Which college was that?
Westchester Community College.
Okay.
Which just so happens to have the only on-air college radio station in the entire county of Westchester.
There you are.
Has an FCC license, it has a tower, it's on 88.1 FM.
Okay.
and I had to get my FCC license.
See, I went to Fordham when we had that little baby station,
Well,
WFUV.
it's not a baby station. Fordham is a 50,000
You know what it was?
watt flamethrower of a station there.
I have to tell you, I actually did work for WFUV when I was in college.
Okay, great.
And but it was a baby station then. It
Right,
really was.
right.
And it just spread out.
It's amazing how that station
Yeah.
has grown.
Oh, my God, yes.
It really is.
Yes.
But working and taking radio classes in college, I think prepared me so well for adult life, for life in business. It teaches you how to communicate. It teaches you how to, have an assertive voice, how to communicate effectively between people and to groups. And I think it helped me tremendously.
Wow, that's great. And before that, you went to Iona Prep.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, I'm a proud Iona Prep graduate, and
Okay.
Brother Ligori was our headmaster back then
I knew him.
of the prep, and
knew him.
it was a great time there.
Because I think later on he was in the college.
Yes, he went on to become president
That's what I'm saying.
Iona College.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I actually knew him because I, as a Fordham guy, was Fordham Prep and Fordham College. We sang at the Iona graduation over there. Because we used to be smart asses, wise guys, and say Iona stood for Idiots of North Avenue.
Oh, of course, that's
But, that's the old thing. But we did. I totally respected a lot of friends from Iona, and I actually remember singing as a graduate of Fordham Prep, Fordham College, being a ringer at an Iona graduation
Right.
twice, singing with
Isn't it? It's a small world. It really is.
It all kind of comes together. And then you weren't born in Ireland, right? You were born in the Bainbridge section, close enough, St. Brendan's Elementary, which isn't that far from...
Actually, yeah, I was born in Union Hospital, which is not a hospital anymore. Now it's a...
It's a shrine?
It's
Because
a clinic
you were born
now.
there?
It's,
Oh,
not
okay.
it's not actually a hospital anymore. But yeah, I grew up in the Bainbridge section of the Bronx. My parents had a house on East 206th Street. I lived about half a block away from the lower church there at St. Brendan's. I went there in my early years of school.
Right.
And eventually my parents then moved up when I was in the second grade, moved up to the Bronxville post office box area of Yonkers where I grew up.
So you were there for the old church. We actually...
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, for the old
'cause
church, yes.
I was with the Welch Chorale of St. Philip Neri as a singer. And we sang when the new church was the shape of a boat, if I remember correctly.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
And I also been there when Cardinal O'Fee came over, from Cardinal O'Fee from Armagh, the prime priest in Ireland. And he came over and actually gave a talk and so forth. Very, very
Right.
interesting.
Yeah, I was baptized by Monsignor Boyle, who I think was
I know.
responsible for baptizing, I think, about 60% of Irish American
Monsignor
people
Pat
my
Boyle.
age.
Monsignor Pat Boyle.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Wonderful man.
Just want to make sure, can we see this? I don't know. Is there a way we can go a little closer just to show you who we're... Okay, I'm just calling out our favorite producer of all times from Mount St. Vincent College, Bobby Williams, who is going to help us get this in a little closer. You know, this was given to the Miles Scully Division, and the president right here, Kevin Ellis, has brought this to show us, and we are getting a TV exclusive of this award.
Well, we're very, very proud of that. So,
And you well should be.
It's indicative of the dedication of the membership, and this award is really for them. It's not for me.
That's fantastic. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Bobby. And let me just, as a sidelight, point out that we are here at the College of Mount St. Vincent, and through the kindness of Bobby Williams, their communications director, we do broadcast from here. And then our program is on every Tuesday night, 9:30, Channel 18, 9:30, Channel 18, every Tuesday night. The Emerald Focus, and we've been on for a few decades now. We began with my friend Owen McLean, and at that time we were with the we were actually part of the Zaletsky administration.
Okay, right.
And
yes.
I came up with the concept, and Terry Zaletsky, of all the things one can say, objectively, Owen always said that, was the most outstanding mayor in terms of the support for the Irish. Whatever I asked him to do for the Irish community,
That's wonderful.
he did. Brought in Sinn Féin people, everything else. I want to tell you, he really and truly was.
Great.
But he never went on, he didn't have that PR instinct. Never went on the show. We used to do the show for him. It was the mayor's...
Oh, it was the mayor's show. He
yeah,
never
mayor's
appeared
show,
on it.
never appeared on it. John Spencer came in, thought this was a Zaletsky show, so ignored it, and I stayed away for a year, figuring he might want to use it, even though it was my concept. It belonged to the mayor at that time. So now it's a community program. And in fact, at that time, it was with the Irish American Unity Conference, and Danny Thomas was a Republican legislator.
Yes.
And a friend of mine, born one day apart, September 9th of September 10th. And we used to even celebrate birthdays sometimes together. But I wanted to stress that we were not a Democratic show anymore. We were a Republican Democrat.
Right.
We were community oriented. So at any rate, that's just a little bit of background. But at any rate, so that's the Emerald Focus show, and please stay with us because they're going to be regulars. I know that the show that we're showing now will be broadcast in November. And so coming right on up after the show, remember that this may be even on the Tuesday of Election Day or the week before. Remember, November 7th is the time to go out there and vote. Now, tell us about your Irish heritage, please, Kevin.
Well, I'm second generation Irish. All
Okay.
4 of my grandparents came from Ireland. They come from counties Mayo, Tipperary, Kerry, and Kildare, respectively. And I grew up in the Bainbridge section of the Bronx, and I brought up, being Irish was a part of me growing up. I had all my
Exactly.
friends were Irish, and we had the Ahern's and the O'Briens and the Kellys and all the different families around my neighborhood.
And
that,
Kelly was my birth name, by the way.
Oh,
We
it
might-
was?
So you never know. Okay, and the other thing, I should have brought my picture with myself and Mike Flannery back in the day, because your maternal grandfather.
Yes, my maternal grandfather, Mike Dahan, he was from Tipperary. He was lifelong friends with Mike Flannery,
Okay.
all the way back from when he played football, junior football for Ross Gray back in the early 20s there. So
There you
Mike Flannery, my mother always told me stories of Mike Flannery helped paint their kitchen.
Yeah.
Come over. So unfortunately, both my grandfathers passed away before I was born. And
understand.
I had the honor of meeting Mike Flannery at a County Tipperary social
Okay.
years later. And I had mentioned to him who I was, and he said to please sit down, and we spoke for over 2 hours.
Wow.
With him just telling me stuff that I had never known about my grandfather. And
Oh,
I
that
will
was
always
nice.
remember
That's
that night.
exciting.
It was so
That
special.
is.
It really was.
Yeah. Did you get a picture?
I did not get a picture
Yeah,
after all
see,
that. I
imagine
should
that,
have.
yeah.
But
I had a picture, but I didn't have all that great conversation.
right. No, it was.
So it was, yeah.
great.
Well, that's really a very interesting story. And of course, Michael Flannery was a past Grand Marshal,
Yes,
but he
absolutely.
didn't get one of those plaques.
No, I don't think he
At
did.
least it wasn't presented by Cardinal Cook. And you are a player and a manager for the New York Tipper. Now, I never knew this, that you were a player and manager.
Oh
for
no,
New
my
York.
grandfather was.
Oh, I'm sorry. 'cause
When
I
my
thought-
grandfather
oh,
came
I'm
over,
sorry.
he was a hurler.
That's
So
what I get for looking down.
in the 1930s and the 1940s, he was a player for the Tipperary team, and then he took over as manager and won a long string of New York championships with Tipperary. I believe one year he actually brought a team back to Ireland to play in Croke Park. He managed that team as well.
Oh, wow.
So he is very well known in the Tipperary Association as far as Tipperary hurling.
I see.
His name is very synonymous with
Oh,
their
okay.
history.
Okay. Now, you've gone back to Ireland how many times?
I probably say at least a dozen times I've been
Okay.
in my lifetime.
I think
been
I've
back
beaten
to
you by 5. But
There you go.
But on the other hand, you got a few more years to go.
That's
so-
right. That's right.
So when you get to be my age, you'll see. But unfortunately, I haven't been there since 9/11 that year, right after that. So.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So it's been a while.
And it was so strange for me because I traveled a lot in the north as well, and to have people from Derry come over and express sympathy to me, because I always go over there and used to say, we'd never have any such thing as soldiers in an airport and all this kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, it's a
And
different
then
world now.
It's a totally different world, yeah.
Yeah,
And all those
unfortunately.
things I said we never would do, we're doing.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that's really sad. So talk to me a little bit more about your heritage, your grandparents.
My grandparents. Well, Mike Dodd, my maternal grandfather,
Yes.
was in construction. Actually,
Okay.
his career, his very first job coming over here was helping pour the foundation for the Empire State Building.
Uh-huh.
And in between that, he worked on basically every large construction project in New York City.
Right.
His last job was working on the Verrazano Narrows Bridge.
Oh.
And I actually have a medal that each one of the workers received. It was from the steel from the bridge, actually stamped out as a worker. So I do have that.
Oh,
That
that's
was
great.
given to me by my grandmother. But he spent a lifetime in construction. My My father's father, Dennis Ellis, he was a baggage man for the old Pennsylvania Railroad, and he worked his entire life working in the railroad station there.
Oh, okay. You know, people are probably saying, "What's that? Why is he so proudly wearing a ribbon?" It's more than a ribbon. So why don't you
Oh
show
yes, this is the President's Medallion. This is what the officers in the ancient order of Hibernians wear to distinguish their office. So,
Right.
as division president, I get to
When you're
wear the
division
medallion.
president, you get to wear a medallion, you get to wear a suit, you get to do all kinds of things. I mean, guys like
You get
me,
all the
what do you
perks.
guys like me just come as I am, you know, but at least I'm wearing something, that's for sure. It's not. Okay, now, you have brothers and sisters.
Yes, I have two. I'm the oldest of 5 children. I have 2 younger brothers, Dennis and Matthew. I have 2 younger sisters, Deirdre and Caitlin.
And did they jump on the bandwagon of paying attention to their heritage? in the
Oh,
very same
absolutely.
way?
In fact, my brother, for the last 10 years, he moved back to Ireland.
Okay.
My brother Dennis, he was in advertising, and he actually got a job with RTE, and now he is a senior account executive with
Oh, my
RTE
goodness.
Television in Dublin. So,
That's excellent.
you know, it's kind of a reverse kind of thing over there. But he lives in by the Wicklow Mountains there. He has a house up there, and he loves it, and you know, has a great time. So he's enjoyed every day. We all got our Irish citizenship through our grandparents, of course,
Yes.
which made it a lot easier to do that. So,
Sure, exactly.
but since then, yeah, you know, my brother lives there. My other brothers, yeah, I mean, they are aware of their Irish heritage. They cherish it. They're not as
I understand.
into it as much as
Yeah,
I am as
okay.
far as getting involved in organizations. But every St. Patrick's Day is a big day at our house.
Okay. Yeah, I think there were like 2 channels, well, certainly RTE and one.
Oh,
Ulster-
RT1
the Ulster-
and RT2, that was it.
And then the Ulster channel was also the third, I guess, at one point.
That's correct,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
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 Now I'm sure they have several, and of course with cable. it's
Oh,
all-
they have, yeah, they have all the channels
they
there
got-
now.
And they can know what we're
When I
up to.
first went over there, it was just the RT1, RT2, and then there was the Irish language version of
There you
RT.
go,
So it's
there you
3
go.
channels,
Sure,
basically.
that's right. Okay. And so now, tell us, you were talking about your radio connection. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. You've been married how long now?
I have been married for 5 years now. Actually, I just
Okay.
Celebrated my 5th wedding anniversary with my
That's
wife,
right,
Stacy.
I saw that. Yes, that's fantastic.
And yeah, I have the most beautiful and supportive wife.
You do. You know,
you can
I've
have.
only spent one time where I really got to know her, and what a sense of humor. She's and so
Oh,
pleasant.
she's- yeah, no,
Such-
she's wonderful.
Such pleasant. We had so much fun for about an hour at an Ashling dinner, or what dinner it was, and I enjoyed
Yes.
her company so much. I remember that.
Well, it's important, and I really have her to thank a lot for the success personally of me as far as my involvement with the Ancient Order of Hibernians. Because if you're president of any organization such as ours,
Yeah.
it's a lot of time away from home. It's a lot of hours at meetings and events and other things like that. And you can't do that unless you have a great bedrock of support at home. And she, you know, Stacy has been wonderful, and I'm very happy to be married. And
That's great.
Yeah,
So the
hello,
next
Stacy.
plaque should be presented to Stacy, not to you.
that's right. It should be.
you do
That's
that.
right. The next award should go to her. Absolutely.
Okay, that's really good. Okay. Is there anybody else in your family that we should be talking about?
As far as my family, you know, I have lots of cousins and things like that. Nothing really that's.
And you get to see them when you go home too? In
Yes.
Ireland? Okay.
Absolutely. I have family in Temple Moor, in Tipperary. I have family in Rathangan and Kildare. I have I also have family where my family name comes from. Ellis is actually from a very small town called Beaufield, which is just outside of Ballina, County Mayo. So
I see.
Ellis is a Mayo name. So
I see. I have 2 godchildren in Ireland, one in Belfast and one in Limerick, so I'm kind of
Okay.
proud of that.
very good.
Any actual relatives in Ireland I don't know about. And the other thing is, I remember we were talking about undocumented Americans, and I wanted to know what's an undocumented American. And when I told them, they said, well, then you're an undocumented Irishman. So I think that's pretty good.
That's
too.
right.
It's with the amount of times that I've been there and friends that I've made. So now, we already announced that you're the current chair of Miles Cully Division, and you were named the Yonkers Hibernian of the Year in 2011, and we already announced your vice presidency. And you know, that's interesting because we had Sean Talon's sister way back when.
Rosalie.
Yeah, Rosalie. And
Yes.
she was on, I know I was at an event with you just a week ago, which by this time the show was on 3 weeks ago, and she was there. I didn't get a chance to go over to her, but we had her on when she was asking that we have the street named and all that kind of thing. I
Yes.
remember
Okay.
way,
Right.
way
Right. To
back,
get Sean
yeah.
Talon
Sure, exactly.
way named. Yes.
We're talking about Sean Talon, and you're the founder of the Firefighter Sean Talon Tournament. it's been a while ago, and so a lot of young people could be watching this program wondering who is Sean Talon. So maybe you could share.
Oh, sure. Well, Sean Talon obviously is a Yonkers native. He was a local thing. He was very involved with his Irish heritage, playing Irish sports and involved in Irish music. He was a United States Marine Corps reservist. He was a graduate of Iona College. And then he signed up and joined the New York City Fire Department. And on September 11th, he was stationed with Ladder 10. Now, Ladder 10 is the firehouse that is directly outside of the World Trade Center. It's called the 10 House because it's the only station where the engine and the ladder are the same number. It's engine 10 and ladder 10. He was a probationary fireman. He still hadn't even passed his probationary period, and he went charging into the World Trade Center and lost his life on September 11th.
And you're paying attention to this tournament that's dedicated to the memory of Sean Talon, who lost his life. Could you tell us a little bit about the tournament?
Well, yeah. Well, the tournament is, part of what we do with the Ancient Order of Hibernians is also to lend support to the other Irish organizations in the area. So we have the county organizations, you have all the other different Irish organizations, the American Irish Association of Westchester. And one of the things we wanted to do was we used to have a festival held in Point Park every year. It was called Hibernian Day. And what we wanted to do is try to make the event grow. And what I said was, we have this huge sports field that we don't even use. We have a permit for the entire park. Why don't we figure out a way to use this? And we came up with an idea to have a small tournament through some of the under-8 clubs in the local area in Gaelic football. So you're talking about kids that are 10 years or younger. And we had 4 teams from the area. You had St. Barnabas, you had Celtic, Rangers, and St. Raymond's. They came in, and that very first Hibernian Day, they played a round-robin tournament, and it was so successful. And the people just loved watching this. You watch the young kids, exploring their heritage by playing Gaelic games. And it was then that, we considered that, sports is just as important a part of Irish heritage as music and literature and all the wonderful things that make our Irish heritage something to be proud of. So, although the Hibernian Day event ceased to exist after 2009, it was decided that the tournament was so special that we were just going to continue that tournament as its own separate event. And over the years, and of course we named the tournament after Sean Talon to remember him and to remember his and celebrate his legacy. And over the past 9 years, the tournament has grown. And it's gone from just 4 teams in that very first time to now we invite over 30 teams. The tournament takes up all of Gaelic Park. It's an all-day event. We've gone from just 1 trophy for a football division. The tournament itself now has 4 football divisions and even a hurling division. And I always tell people, if you haven't seen under-8 hurling, you haven't seen anything yet. It's absolutely wonderful to see young children like this, instead of playing soccer, instead of playing baseball, playing hurling, playing football.
And now you got about 450 people, youngsters?
There's over 400 kids that come to this.
450 whippersnappers.
Absolutely. And it's a great day. It's held at Gaelic Park every year. And even now, over the past several years, the Fire Department of New York has gotten involved. They have very generously sent their Honor Guard and their Emerald Society pipe band. So now they come in, they pipe all the young kids out onto the field. We have a big opening ceremony, the singing of the national anthems, and it really makes the event a really memorable one. So we're very proud that this event has grown. As much as Division I kind of started this tournament, now that the fact that the tournament has grown, we have invited other AOH divisions and county boards to join with us to help sponsor the event. Because obviously the cost is a lot more than just having 4 teams. So we're very happy that we have gotten the support of the Bronx County Board, we've gotten the support of the Westchester County Board, even Queens County has sent support donations to help make this tournament happen. And we're very proud to be able to say that the tournament will once again happen this year at Gaelic Park. It will be on Sunday, November 5th, beginning at 10:45 in the morning. So
we've got to make sure the show is on before that. Good. Sunday, November 5th, what time?
10:45 a.m.
At Gaelic Park. And it says that I'm going to ask you to talk about this and make sure you include the American Irish of Westchester to discuss your personal priority to increase cooperation between the AOH and other Irish organizations in the area.
Yes, absolutely. That's been one of the things that I announced that that was my vision for this organization when I became president. In order for us to grow, we have to make sure that we have cooperative relationships with all the different Irish organizations to increase membership and make all the organizations stronger. Unfortunately, as with most organizations, that suffer from membership losses as we go along, really the key to success is cooperation. So I always try to make sure that we cooperate with other Irish organizations, the GAA Minor Board, the American Irish Association of Westchester, the Emerald Societies, all that, they're all open, and of course we're always open to support their events and their causes as well.
And we're welcoming any member of the Ancient Order of Hibernians to join in with the American Irish Association of Westchester.
Yes, absolutely.
As former chair, former president, and present vice president, we appreciate this.
Absolutely.
And as an Hibernian, you're welcome. Okay. And the other thing is that we were talking about this award before, never really pointing out that you were a Westchester County aide to the Grand Marshal in the 256th Annual Parade, and you were an aide to the Grand Marshal of the Yonkers St. Patrick's Day Parade in 2007.
That's right. I was aide to Owen McLean when he was Grand Marshal of the Yonkers
Yes,
Parade.
indeed. I remember that.
That's
yes,
right.
Indeed. Very good. Yes.
So remember Owen McLean, God rest him.
When I get to be Kitty's age, they're going to make me an aide to the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Yonkers. Kitty, by the way, is a centennial plus. So.
Absolutely.
And anyway, so that was a little plug. Let me just make this announcement, and then we're going to get into your issue. Not your issue, but an issue of concern for those who believe in social justice, and that everybody, all groups, have the right to stand up for or against discrimination. The 9th Annual Firefighter Sean Talon Memorial Gaelic Sports Tournament, Sunday, November 5th. Again, 10:45 Gaelic Park. There'll be over 30 teams from the tri-state area. It's a fun-filled day for the entire family. The Talon family is a special guest, the Fire Department in New York, Ceremonial Unit, Fire Department New York, Emerald Society, Pipes and Drums. What is Yonkers doing? They're burning up the town? Not here? I know. And it's free admission. The price is right?
That's right.
Food and drink will be for sale. Okay. Now, I should have given this number in, but if you want more information, Kevin's number, he likes calls between 1 and 6 in the morning. 914-844-4123. Is that a cell or a home phone?
That's my cell phone. But,
hopefully, that way you can flip it off, okay? 914-844-4123. Or you can also go to, because this is sponsored by the Ancient Order of Hibernians, AOH Yonkers that's so easy, AOHyonkers@gmail.com. Is it, it doesn't have to be capital letters.
No, that's just an email address.
AOHyonkers@gmail.com. I'm not quite sure how much time we have left. We have 1 minute for you to say why MSNBC does make mistakes.
Well, we don't have to.
All
I
right.
came prepared with other issues there. If we have 1 minute left in the program,
Yeah.
I would just like to thank you so much for having me on this program. I would like to say if there are any people who are watching this program who care about their Irish heritage, who want to get involved, please contact us. You can contact us, of course, through that email address at aohyonkers@gmail.com. The Ancient Order of Hibernians, we are the oldest Catholic fraternal organization in the United States. We are also the largest Irish organization in the country. And if you want to get involved, please reach out. We are open to Catholic men who are Irish by either birth or descent, and we would love to hear from you, and you can reach out to us, and we'll make sure we arrange to get you on board.
Kevin Ellis, President of the Ancient Order of Hibernians, Miles Scully Division in Yonkers. Thank you so much
for having me.
Cade Miller-Fulcher, Truckee Allah. Our day will come.